All right, let's see here. You guys are seeing in real time what's going on behind the scenes as I set up my graphics package and everything like that for Coffee and Cuts. So this is what I go through every morning to get this set up. What's up, guys? Chris with Croft CNC here. Early this morning, not really. It's 9:01. Give me a comment on what you guys thought of the music playing in the beginning, if I was able to get that correct. I know yesterday I tried playing some music. I played I Prevail and Five Finger Death Punch, and YouTube and Facebook were nice enough to say, hey, we're going to mute your sound because that's copyrighted music. So trying to find some music that's not copywritten, trying to find a way to import that and make it work. If you would give me a comment, let me know if it worked, and if you could hear it. Also give me a feedback check on my microphone. I got to figure out something with that. The microphone and the pop filter are too strong or too heavy for the springs that are on this arm. So every once in a while, it just keeps creeping down and down and down. I came in this morning and the microphone was like right here. Let's get rid of this hat. There we go. Okay. So today's deal. Good. Thank you, Jerry. So today's deal is we're going to concentrate on resources available to small business, resources available to CNC machining. This is not the end all be all. It's actually not even a comprehensive list of any sort. It's not really put together in any which way. I really, whenever I do these, I'm still trying to learn this stuff. So I haven't developed a script yet of like what shows are going to happen. And I'm getting comfortable doing this. So sometimes things bounce around. One of the things that I think a lot of people have an issue with is when you're starting out, the hobby guys. So obviously I do my e-course, DIY CNC Pro. That's basically for the do-it-yourselfers at home. We'll be releasing that here around Christmas time, making it fully functional. And everything's going on in the background right now with that. And I'm building the whole thing myself. So let's see here. We got things rolling in. We got comments rolling in. Jerry's looking out for me. Thank you very much, Jerry. We got Carlos popping on, top of the morning. Hablo inglés, stuff like that. Let's see. Okay. So one of the things that I wanted to showcase right off the bat, and I've got to bring it up here because I didn't even pull it up yet. Okay, we have Titans of CNC Academy. This right here, I can't tell you how much I appreciate this setup. And I don't know what it is about the setup. If it just, I really dig the way that they do their filming. I'm not sure what all it is about this, but I absolutely love this site. They have different courses. This is literally an end all be all resource for an introduction to how to make parts. Titan Gilroy and his team over at Titans of CNC created this course. And one of the things that attracted me to this course was the building block setup he built. And then he did a full video series documenting teaching this to the inmates of San Quentin, you know, as a way to give back. I really enjoy the stories like that, where somebody has a skill and they're trying to help people learn. They're trying to build a better community out of what they can and things like that. You know, the learning series is just a phenomenal setup. So if you go in and you click on this, Titan and his crew go through actually designing a part, and then after that, writing the cam for it, the actual tool pathing for it, and then they do a setup where they actually show you how to run it on the machine. You know, and to me that is invaluable, because they actually take you from the very beginning of reading a blueprint, what are the parts on a blueprint and everything like that, all the way to, okay, let's design this in a CAD package, which is computer aided design package, such as Mastercam, Fusion. You guys see me use a lot of Design Edge and VCarve, but I use a lot of these programs in the background for my machine parts. You know, a little bit better tolerancing, a little bit better program writing, stuff like that. You know, so as we start seeing this stuff happen, you get these people that pop up and teach you this stuff. Man, I would have loved something like this whenever I was starting out. I'm going to see if I can pull up a video quick just to run you through. You know, this is not utilizing their videos to make content for you guys from me. This is me showing you the level of sophistication that they put into this. They're not doing what I'm doing, where I'm sitting there with an iPhone videoing and going live and posting stuff. They actually had a production crew come in, record Titan and his crew at the computers designing this, then running out to the machine, loading it up on the machine, you know, testing the program, and then running the program. Like, they did a full production setup on this. So let's see here. Titan is sponsored by Kennametal's, Tormach, Haas, a bunch of things like that.
The Titan 1M for the Tormach and other low horsepower machines. Now, before we begin, I do want to say the purpose of
this series for the Tormach is really nice, because you can translate all the information that they put in this into a CNC router. So if you want to mill parts on a CNC router, you can utilize this setup and write code that way. You can translate what they do in Fusion into VCarve and write a program the way that an actual machine shop writes a program, and then run it.
This tutorial is to provide you a good, solid stock.
And I'm just going to skip through here just to show you guys what they're actually doing in the process. And that way I'm not using all of their video. So right now she designed the part. This is Nicole. So now they're going through, they're writing the CAM package, which is the actual machine code. Okay.
But for example,
and then
1100 at home.
And then from there, they actually show it running on the machine and how they set it up, what their coolant system looks like, what coolants they're using, how they're mounting with the vise and different items such as that. This is education. This is like the education that I'm trying to put out for the home hobbyist. And I'm trying to translate this from somebody who wants to be in a machine shop to somebody who bought an X-Carve or a millwright or anything of that nature and wants to make parts. Okay. Now, that's their video, but they also give all of these resources. Look at this stuff. Titan did such a great job on this that I honestly don't know how I can compete. Like he's created such an awesome setup. And it's not just him, it's his team over there. It is a team project. And that's what really gets me is he's all about showing you like you don't just do this yourself, but they provide you all the blueprints. They provide you a tooling list. Obviously, you can order tooling kits. You can do ebooks and actually implement the manuals. What else do they have? Let's see here. Let's go back to that. This is their soft jaw setup. This right here is what it's all about, people. Educating the masses so that we have an understanding of what it takes to make the parts that we use in daily life and don't even think about. These are all tool libraries. This is where you can get the specific toolkits. This is a setup sheet. Like he goes through and tells you what tools you're going to use, what notes are available, just like you were in a shop. This is what a machinist in a shop would get. What else here? Different inspection reports, the checklist to make sure that you have everything gone through, checked off, and understood, so you don't ruin a part. I tell you guys the story about me ruining $1,000 end mill in 5 seconds. I've shared that story many times. There's nothing worse than doing that. The setups on these things can be so counterintuitive. You really don't know what you're getting into. So we got let's see, we've got Dead Man's Reach Double Dead this morning with a touch of honey, raw honey with the comb, and a touch of sugar cookie creamer mixed with Tullamore whiskey. That's what's in the cup this morning. So, but yeah, so the Titans of CNC Academy is a great starting point for you guys that don't know anything about machining and want to make toleranced parts. There's another setup out there, and now let me mind you, I have an e-course, and I'm giving you guys other people to go to. I don't care about the monetary value of what I'm costing myself. What I care about is getting information out to the people. What kind of sets my e-course apart is there are specific projects, and it goes from point A to point Z on each project in a clear, concise order. And that then from there you can get project packages where you get like the instructions and the project files that you can build on. You get the Supreme packages will have the tooling that we use in the projects and stuff like that. So, you know, that's what I have. But I'm showing you guys other people. I'm showing you guys different ways of doing it because my way is not the end all be all way. And I understand that. And some people may relate better to a different platform or a different design setup. And I got to be honest, Titan changed the Academy from what it originally was, where it was him talking. Titan is so charismatic. He has these catchphrases that you pick up on and stuff like that. And then he'll turn around and he'll actually go out and set up the machine. That's what my e-course is geared towards. I love the new format for them and it works for them. But me personally, I want that old format where Titan is talking. He is the face of what's happening at the shop. He is, it's understood that he knows what he's talking about. So it gives a little more weight to the fact that he is the professional doing this. The problem with that is it's not very brandable because the brand becomes one person. Croft CNC, you guys see me every morning. What you don't see is my wife taking care of the paperwork for me, my daughter coming out and helping me. Croft CNC is a full encompassing family business, but I'm the face of it. And that's the difficult part because when I go out to shows, people want to talk to me because they see me. What they don't do is go and talk to my wife. What they do is they say, "Oh, Kimberly, where's Chris at? Is he at another show today? Oh, I'll call him." You know, where now with Titans of CNC, they've jumped that shark and they've started mutating it into a family. And when I say family, I include their shop people. They've morphed it into a family ecosystem where everybody's working on it together. And that to me is really cool. Matt is watching the live, popping in and out, right on. So there's that. Let's see. Then we have Kyle Ely. Let's see if this is the right one. Yes, it is. Okay. So Kyle is actually a local PA boy. We've talked on the phone. We've talked together. You know, Kyle has a really good setup. I enjoy watching his stuff. You know, you could see he actually works on Vectric, VCarve, and stuff like that. So he has a really cool training course. You know, and it works out really nice for him. There's a lot of stuff to be learned on VCarve or on the Vectric products. So that's another great resource for the garage hobby guys. You know, we go in, they've got all these different approaches, different projects, stuff like that. So that is available to you guys also. what else? Then there's your typical YouTube stuff. I mean, right now I want to build a wardrobe. I'm not a woodworker by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm on YouTube like trying to figure out how do I want to build a wardrobe closet, and I'm trying to figure out how to build it for my wife. And I just go to YouTube and I try to learn. I don't know what I'm doing, so I just watch the videos. I take in as much as I can. Literally at night, I sit down and watch 2 to 3 hours of YouTube videos, and try and organize that. There's another setup that I'm doing with gold. I'm refining gold and silver, and I had to learn how to do that. So I went and found YouTube videos on it, and I taught myself how to do that. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm taking stuff and trying it. And that's the best I can tell you guys as far as machining resources. Now, there is another aspect of this is if you want to make a business. The business aspect always evades me. We talked about this yesterday. I'm not a very astute businessman. I will literally do a project for free just to do it if it perks my interest. If it doesn't perk my interest, I don't care. I don't want to do it. I do a lot of this stuff just because I'm trying to hone my skills and become that professional that everybody looks forward to interacting with and getting a part from. So basically, go to YouTube, look up everything. Everything is there. You can learn how to do brain surgery on YouTube. And I know, because with all my medical issues, I went to YouTube and I'm looking up what doctors are saying, and I'm looking at the procedures. They're actually running procedures on there. And I go into my procedure and I'm like, oh, okay, so you're going to do this, this, and this. Yep. And we're going to use this and this and this. And it gives me a little bit of an understanding of what they're doing. Now with that, I'm not telling you to go out and perform brain surgery on your friends and family at all. Don't touch anybody. I feel I have to put that out there for some reason, because, today. Anyways, all in all, that's kind of the resources that you can use to get started at a pretty inexpensive or free setup. Coming along with that, we've got business issues and stuff like that. For me, one of the biggest helps was the Small Business Development Center in my area. I actually have 4 of them within a 60-mile radius. So we have one right here in town. Then we have one a little bit bigger in the city area over from me to the east. And then on the outskirts of that perimeter, we actually have Penn State University and Bucknell University that have small business development centers. I utilize the Penn State one just because it's a bigger platform. They have more speakers. They have more things going on that I can go to and learn. And then in my area, there is there's this project called the Covation Center. and they put on these team learning programs. The Covation Center is located in Williamsport. And they help people understand their business, their small businesses. They provide resources. They provide reading material. They provide a spot where if you need a conference set up for a big business deal, and maybe you're like me, you don't have that aspect, they will provide a conference center for you. And go from there. One of the people that Steve introduced me to, Steve and Stephanie run the Covation Center, but they introduced me to Jerry. Jerry is a huge help. He actually teaches a bunch of stuff at like Cumming College in reference to understanding your audience and stuff like that. So, those are resources that I found and used that you might have in your area. Okay. And that's that. So, all right. And I'm getting questions on what machines do I use? Okay, so that's kind of a loaded question, but my two mainstay machines that I use almost on the daily, I have an X-Carve CNC router that I kind of built up into a mutant. There's nothing really left of the original X-Carve. So I started out with the machine and then built on it and built it up to what it is today. There are now better machines for a less expensive cost, but the bonus of doing it the way that I did it was I was able to get in the game and start producing wood products, carved wood products at an inexpensive price, and then upgrade as I could and saw fit. That's the bonus of a lot of these hobby machines, is you can build upon them and make a better machine and go from there. What else? I have a plasma cam, which I've built up also doing stuff like that. And that's about the gist of my daily use. Those two machines, I mean, I have lasers, I have milling machines, lathe machines, but the projects that come through for those aren't as prevalent. Matt has come over and helped me in the shop, and he says, I can confirm you tend to improve and put your personal touch on all those machines. No machine is ever exactly what I want. And that's actually why I got into building my own machines and retrofitting machines, was to make it what I want. So with that being said, my other machines have to have projects to run them. I have my 3D printers run quite a bit. I'm getting ready to start up the foundry. The foundry is something, I have a small scale foundry to cast raw material to make parts, so that I can make my own cast aluminum, cast iron. I haven't cast steel in a form, and I don't think that this I don't think that this foundry can do that, but it can do softer materials. So uh, that adds another layer of what I can do by casting my own base and then going from there. But the problem that you run into is the material and actually taking time and running the foundry to make these. I could buy a piece and just spend more machining time and machine it out. I don't know. It's 6 of one, half a dozen of another for me, but I like the fact of having the ability to cast my own metals in certain shapes to start machining something. That, and it's nice. I collect all my aluminum cans from myself and neighbors, and I start casting and going from there. That it helps recycle stuff, and that we're working right now to start recycling plastic. What I do right now is I just run it through a paper shredder, chop it up, and melt it into a thin block. Well, I had a meeting last night with a guy that has a full-on industrial shredder and extruder. And what I'm going to start doing is extruding plastic strips and then putting those on a heat plate that will smush them into a panel. And I'm going to start making plastic bricks and plastic wall coverings. And the very first thing I'm going to do is make a wall covering for the shop. And then I'll be able to prototype machine stuff without too much hassle. And to me, that's where everything is at. That is the end all be all. I don't need to buy materials. I can cast a lot of my own materials. So I'm not beholden to anybody. I can do it if I want. But if I need a part at 2:00 in the morning, I go fire everything up and I make it and I do it. And that's the way it is. So yeah, that's that. What else do we have here? What machine? Okay. What machine am I getting? So some people have heard one of the CNC router companies has sponsored me a new machine to start doing videos with. I'm working with CNC for Newbies on their new rack and pinion machine. This thing is awesome. Okay. These are the basic machines. I mean, if you look at these things, they fly, they zip around. Let's see here. There we go. This is the base machine, except for mine's going to be rack and pinion. It's going to have a linear rail setup. I mean, it's going to be a pretty high speed setup. Let's see if I can pull this up here for you and show you. Okay. I'm trying to go through stuff right now and show you guys this full-on machine. You know, that's actually my machine right there. And this thing is just going to be a blast. So I'm interested to see how it works out, the speeds and feeds we're going to be able to reach, stuff of that nature. You know, that's going to have a full-on spindle on it. We're going to be able to mill non-ferrous metals. We're going to be able to do wood, leather, everything we can do with the CNC router now. We're just going to put it on steroids. So we'll finish cars faster. We'll make things with tighter tolerances and everything like that. Less lost steps, so on and so forth. So, yeah, that's pretty much where we're at with that. Let's get some questions in here. And I don't really have a tutorial for today. I can throw one together quick. You know, something you guys haven't seen. Let's pull up a tutorial and let's see here. Let's do a 3D tutorial. All right, we're going to open up VCarve desktop. Let's go to screen share application, Vectric. Okay, so now let's share screen. Let's create something in the 20 by 20 by 2.5 inches thick. That's going to be a deep carve. Okay. So instead of doing a vector, what we'll do is we'll actually go into model, which is down here. We'll click on the folder. We're going to go to CNC files. And we're going to go to 3D files. We'll go to open images. Let's see here. We'll do a wolf. Okay, this is the wolf project that we did before. Okay, let's see here. We're going to do that. Let's make that 18 inches. Let's unlock XYZ and make that 2 inches. Let's center the model. Let's bring it all the way up. Okay. We now have our STL. This is a full-on design. Okay. The very first thing that I like to do is actually create a vector boundary layer. And we'll go up here to layer and rename that vector boundary. We'll blank that. We'll leave that. We'll select that. Okay. We need to add a 0 plane. Now we'll go to 3D view. All right, everything is sitting on top of the 0 plane. So now let's take that base height. We're going to move that base height down. Okay. And we're going to take this shape and move it down just a skosh. And what I'm trying to do right now is get this visually acceptable. Okay, so 2.6. So 2.55. 2.53. 2.52. Okay, that's close enough. Everything is down underneath. We've got a little bit on the nose, but you actually won't recognize that. All right, we can kill that 0 plane if we want. We'll wait to have that. Now we can close that, bring up that, and we can cut that down in, add that. We're not adding anything to this, so that's not a big issue. We have our base height set at 0. It's actually at negative 1.25 because remember it's based off of the center. We hit close. We can change our Z height. We can scale our Z height. We can set exact heights. That gets into a lot of stuff. Remember, these are superficial tutorials. If you really want information on setting up good tutorials or setting up good programs based on that, we can go from there. But this particular part has a lot of open issues that, like right down here in the axe handles, it has a cap on part of it, but not on another part. All of these openings here are push throughs. They don't have any caps on them. That's not a bad thing. Just remember, whenever you're machining this, it's going to try and machine over it. So just keep that in mind. So at this point, you know, I'll select that. I'll put a 0 plane in, and you can actually see these pockets come through. So if you want those out of there, that's where that vector boundary comes in. And we can unblank that. Unblank the 0 plane. We'll go here to roughing pass. We're going to hide that model down about a 1/4 inch. Let's go 1/8 inch. And that will allow me to surface the top and get a good flat model inside of the block of wood. We're going to do a 1/4 inch 2-flute end mill. We're going to, let's keep that. Now we're going to go to selected vector. I'm going over here. We'll select this vector. We're going to, I forgot to ungroup this. There. Okay, selected vector. Boundary offset, we can go 0.2. We can do -0.2, 0.2, 0.1, whatever you want. I like to give my tapered ball nose end mill enough to go over. We'll do a 3D roster. We're going to do that along the Y. Try and go with the grain of the wood. We'll calculate that out. That's what the roughing pass will look like. Looks good. Now we'll just go in, we'll do a 3D. We'll go selected vector, boundary offset. We'll do 0. Let's do 0.1. We'll roster 0 degrees, so it'll go on the x-axis flat. If you wanted to, you could angle it and get a little bit more of an angle on this. It might make, it depends on how you set things up. It might make it easier. So we'll calculate that out. Okay. Let's see what we have. Okay. Now this is where it gets a little daunting. You look around this right here, and you have a lot of open cuts and stuff. So what I will typically do with something like that is I will machine that stuff out first, or I'll rework a file so that I don't have this. But that's just me. Nothing major. You know, and there's definitely a better way to machine this model as we get into more advanced talks and people have a little bit more on the question side. We can work on that and go from there. And that looks pretty good. So now we'll go to our estimate with our tool paths. It's estimated that'll take roughly about 20 hours, about 21 hours to machine that whole thing. Go to All right, guys. Sorry about that. We had a apparently we had a dropout in our internet service. So I don't know what everybody got to see and what they didn't, because everything dropped out. So let me see if I can bring this back up. And I'll show you. This is let's say that this is oak, dark oak, and no global fill color. There we go. So we can do something of that nature. There we go. You could see all kinds of different ways of doing this. Like I said, this 20 by 20 carve, you're probably looking at 21 hours once it's all said and done. And yeah. All right, guys. That's our quick tutorial for today. Other than that, any questions, comments, concerns? Our broadcast was interrupted. I apologize for that. Kind of ruined the flow for today. So I'm going to hop off here, and I will talk to you guys later.